for a kitchen floor outlet that will not be subjected to direct water exposure, a weather-resistant floor box is recommended. These boxes typically have a gasket or seal to prevent water ingress and are designed for indoor use. A ground fault circuit interrupter, commonly called a GFCI, is required for any electrical outlet installed in a kitchen as per the National Electrical Code or NEC. A GFCI protects against electrical shocks by shutting off the power if an imbalance in current is detected, which could indicate a fault or ground fault. For the installation, firstly determine the location. Choose a location for the floor outlet that is convenient and safe, away from potential hazards such as a stovetop or oven. Secondly, cut a hole. Cut a hole in the flooring material large enough to accommodate the floor box. Thirdly, insert the floor box. Insert the weather-resistant floor box into the hole and secure it according to the manufacturer's instructions. Fourthly, install the outlet. Install a GFCI outlet into the floor box. Fifthly, wire the outlet. Connect the outlet to the appropriate electrical circuit. Sixthly, secure the cover. Install the cover plate or lid on the floor box, making sure to seal it properly against water ingress. Additional tips include using a water-resistant sealant around the edges of the floor box to further enhance protection against water. Consider using a low-profile floor box to minimize tripping hazards. Install the floor outlet at a slightly higher elevation than the flooring to provide additional water resistance. Also, it is important to inform the family member of the importance of keeping the floor outlet covered when not in use and to avoid cleaning it with excessive water. Now let's delve into the specifics of each step, expanding on the how and why behind each action. Choosing the right location for your kitchen floor outlet is paramount. Think about the intended use of the outlet. Will it primarily power small appliances on the kitchen island, like a blender or a coffee maker? Consider the typical placement of these appliances and ensure the outlet is within easy reach, without creating a tripping hazard. Also visualize the flow of traffic in the kitchen. Avoid placing the outlet in a high-traffic area where it could be easily stepped on or kicked. Safety is always the first concern. Keep the outlet away from water sources such as sinks or dishwashers to minimize the risk of electrical shock. A minimum distance of at least 600 or approximately 2 feet is recommended by electrical codes. Additionally, keep the outlet away from heat sources like stoves or ovens to prevent damage to the outlet and the cord of any appliances plugged into it. Once you've determined the ideal location, the next step is cutting the hole in the flooring. Accuracy is key here. Carefully measure the dimensions of the floor box and transfer those measurements onto the floor. Use a pencil or marker to clearly outline the area to be cut. Before you start cutting, take the necessary safety precautions. Wear safety glasses to protect your eyes from flying debris, and use gloves to protect your hands. If you're working with tile or stone flooring, use a specialized tile saw or diamond tip blade to prevent cracking or chipping. For wood or laminate flooring, a jigsaw or hole saw will usually do the trick. Cut slowly and steadily, following the outline you've marked. Avoid applying too much pressure, as this could damage the flooring. Once you've cut through the flooring, carefully remove the cutout piece. You may need to use a chisel or pry bar to loosen it. After the hole is cut, it's time to insert the weather-resistant floor box. These boxes are specifically designed to protect electrical connections from moisture and debris, making them ideal for kitchen environments. Ensure that the floor box you choose is rated for indoor use and is specifically designed for floor installations. Look for features like a watertight gasket or seal to prevent water from seeping in. Before inserting the box, inspect the hole you've cut to ensure it's clean and free of any sharp edges or debris. This will help to ensure a proper seal between the box and the flooring. Insert the floor box into the hole, making sure it fits snugly. Depending on the type of floor box you're using, you may need to secure it to the subfloor using screws or anchors. Follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully to ensure a secure and stable installation. Now comes the installation of the ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI outlet. As we discussed earlier, a GFCI outlet is a must-have in any kitchen to protect against electrical shocks. Before you begin wiring the outlet, turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker box. This is an essential safety precaution. Use a voltage tester to verify that the power is off before proceeding. Connect the wires to the GFCI outlet according to the manufacturer's instructions. Typically, you'll have a black wire for the hot connection, a white wire for the neutral connection, and a green or bare wire for the ground connection. Make sure the connections are tight and secure to prevent any loose wires or short circuits. Once the wiring is complete, carefully push the GFCI outlet into the floor box. Secure it using screws or mounting hardware. With the outlet installed, it's time to connect it to the electrical circuit. This is where things can get a bit more complex, so it's important to have a good understanding of electrical wiring. If you're not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. Identify the circuit that will power the floor outlet. It should be a dedicated 20 amp circuit to handle the power demands of kitchen appliances. Run the appropriate electrical cable from the circuit breaker to the floor box. Make sure the cable is properly sized for the amperage of the circuit. Connect the wires from the cable to the GFCI outlet following the same wiring scheme as before. Again, ensure that all connections are tight and secure. After the wiring is complete, turn the power back on at the breaker box and test the GFCI outlet to make sure it's working properly. The GFCI outlet should have a test button that you can press to simulate a ground fault. If the outlet trips and shuts off power, it's working correctly. If it doesn't trip, there may be a problem with the wiring or the outlet itself. Finally, it's time to install the cover plate or lid in the floor box. This will protect the outlet from dirt, debris, and moisture, and will also provide a finished look to the installation. Choose a cover plate that is specifically designed for floor outlets and is made of a durable, water-resistant material. Make sure the cover plate fits snugly over the floor box and seals tightly against the flooring. This will prevent water from seeping into the box and damaging the electrical connections. In addition to these steps, there are a few additional tips that can help to ensure a safe and successful kitchen floor outlet installation. Consider using a water-resistant sealant around the edges of the floor box to further enhance protection against water. This will create an extra barrier against moisture and help to prevent any water damage. A low-profile floor box can minimize tripping hazards. These boxes sit flush with the floor and are less likely to be stepped on or tripped over. Install the floor outlet at a slightly higher elevation than the flooring to provide additional water resistance. This will help to prevent water from pooling around the outlet and seeping into the box. It's also important to educate the family members about the importance of keeping the floor outlet covered when not in use and to avoid cleaning it with excessive water. This will help to prolong the life of the outlet and prevent any electrical hazards. In addition to weather resistance, it is worthwhile to discuss the importance of tamper-resistant receptacles, especially in households with children. Tamper-resistant receptacles have internal shutters that prevent the insertion of foreign objects, such as paper clips or toys, which can help prevent electrical shock. While not always required by code for all locations, they are a very worthwhile safety upgrade, especially in a kitchen where children may be present. Consider the long-term maintenance of the floor outlet. Over time, the gasket or seal around the floor box may degrade, allowing water to seep in. Periodically inspect the outlet for any signs of damage or wear and tear. If you notice any problems, such as cracks or leaks, replace the floor box immediately. When selecting the GFCI receptacle, consider models with indicator lights that show the status of the device. These lights can alert you to a tripped GFCI or other potential problems. Some GFCI receptacles also have self-testing features that automatically check the functionality of the device on a regular basis. When wiring the floor outlet, use wire connectors that are appropriate for the gauge of the wire and the environment. Look for connectors that are rated for wet locations and are designed to prevent corrosion. Make sure the wire connectors are properly tightened to ensure a secure connection. Using a torque screwdriver can help to ensure that the connectors are tightened to the correct specification. Before finalizing the location of the floor outlet, consider the placement of furniture and other items in the kitchen. Make sure the outlet is not blocked by furniture or other obstructions. Also, make sure the outlet is easily accessible for plugging in appliances. If the floor outlet is located in an area where it is likely to be stepped on, consider using a heavy-duty floor box that is designed to withstand heavy traffic. These boxes are typically made of metal and have a durable cover plate that can support a significant amount of weight. When installing the floor outlet, be sure to follow all local electrical codes and regulations. These codes are in place to protect people and property from electrical hazards. If you are not familiar with local electrical codes, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. Remember that working with electricity can be dangerous, so it is important to take all necessary safety precautions. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical wiring. Use insulated tools and wear safety glasses to protect yourself from electrical shock and injury. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. This description provides a more detailed and comprehensive guide to installing a kitchen floor outlet, covering important safety considerations, code requirements, and best practices. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure safe and reliable installation that will provide years of trouble-free service. In addition to the points mentioned above, it's also crucial to consider the specific type of flooring you're working with. Different flooring materials require different installation techniques and tools. For instance, installing a floor outlet in a concrete slab requires different methods than installing one in a wood subfloor. When working with concrete, you'll need to use a hammer drill and concrete anchors to secure the floor box. You'll also need to ensure that the floor box is properly sealed to prevent moisture from seeping into the concrete. With wood subfloors, you can typically use screws or nails to secure the floor box. However, you'll need to be careful not to damage the subfloor during installation. It's also important to ensure that the floor box is level with the surrounding flooring to prevent tripping hazards. Another factor to consider is the height of the floor box in relation to the finished floor. The top of the floor box should be flush with the finished floor to prevent tripping hazards and to allow for easy access to the outlet. If the floor box is too low, you may need to use shins to raise it to the correct height. If the floor box is too high, you may need to grind down the surrounding flooring to create a level surface. When choosing a floor box, consider the number of outlets you need. Some floor boxes have only one outlet while others have two or more. If you plan to use multiple appliances at the same time, it's best to choose a floor box with multiple outlets. You should also consider the amperage rating of the floor box. Make sure the floor box is rated for the amperage of the circuit that will be powering it. If the floor box is not rated for the correct amperage, it could overheat and cause a fire. When wiring the floor outlet, use the correct gauge of wire for the circuit. The gauge of the wire is determined by the amperage of the circuit. Using the wrong gauge of wire can cause the wire to overheat and cause a fire. You should also use wire connectors that are rated for the type of wire you're using. There are different types of wire connectors for different types of wire. Using the wrong type of wire connector can cause the connection to fail and create a fire hazard. When installing the cover plate, make sure it is properly aligned with the floor box. If the cover plate is not properly aligned, it can be difficult to plug in appliances. It can also create a tripping hazard. You should also make sure the cover plate is securely fastened to the floor box. If the cover plate is not securely fastened, it can come loose and create a safety hazard. After installing the floor outlet, test it to make sure it is working properly. Plug in an appliance and turn it on to see if the outlet provides power. You should also test the GFCI function of the outlet by pressing the test button. If the outlet does not work properly, contact a qualified electrician to troubleshoot the problem. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. An electrician can ensure that the floor outlet is installed safely and correctly. They can also help you to choose the right floor box and wiring for your needs. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides detailed guidelines for electrical installations, including floor outlets. Familiarizing yourself with the NEC requirements for floor outlets will help you ensure a safe and code-compliant installation. Some key NEC requirements for floor outlets include the use of GFCI protection, the proper grounding of the outlet, and the use of approved wiring methods. In addition to the NEC, your local jurisdiction may have additional electrical codes and regulations that you must follow. Check with your local building department to learn about any specific requirements for floor outlets in your area. By following all applicable electrical codes and regulations, you can help to ensure a safe and legal installation. And lastly, remember to make sure you have all the permits for the location and all the work you are doing.